acclaimed ascension teacher and best-selling award-winning author. Maureen has developed foolproof techniques to access your higher self, known for the power of sacred tools and her Amazon bestsellers. Sorry, I've got this jumbled up somehow in my inside of my thing here. She's known for the power of her sacred tools, and she has Amazon selling best-selling books. She's a person who is opening the Akashic record. Oh, the books are called Opening the Akashic Records, Waking Up in 5D, Mastering Your 5D Self, Your Best 5D Life, Beyond the Flower of Life, and Be a Genie. She has a newer book now that's related to 5D again, Your 5D Life. She loves sharing knowledge from her years of research and meditation on ancient truths. She's also an award-winning musician and author of the meditation app Illuminate. Traveling worldwide since 1995 and teaching wisdom and sacred practices, she's the author of 7 books that have been translated into 12 languages, including Russian, Chinese, German, Spanish, Italian, and Swedish. Founder of the Akashic Records International, a training and promotion organization, she was granted access to the dimension that has been closed to most of humanity for eons. She's a direct channel to Source. Labeled a modern-day mystic in famous Wisconsin mystics, she's taught inside 24 countries, including China, Japan, Australia, Bulgaria, Turkey, Egypt, England, Scotland, Canada, Mexico, and across the US. She is taught at the prestigious American Center's Kripalu and the Omega Institute, and featured on National Geographic specials, Gaia TV, Coast to Coast with George Noory, and Fade to Black with Jimmy Church. Please welcome Maureen St. Germain.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And Orest, I'm just so happy to know you. I spent some time on your website and I was blown away by all the cool things you are doing. So thank you for including me in this event. I'm very grateful.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to pop off the screen and let you go ahead. And then just before the close, I'll pop back in and we can talk about your gifts.
Okay, now before you go,
yeah.
Okay, very good. I was just looking to see if I could share, and this will change how whoever's sharing on their screen. I don't know who that is, but we'll cut them off. Let's see how we do. All right.
Okay, we're in the background for support anyway, so.
Okay, so this is not the screen we want. We want just the individual screen. So let's see what's going on here. This is on my side, by the way. Okay, now I know what I need to do. Okay, very good. All right, so we're going to talk about connecting the dots in 5D. Since I've written several books on 5D and what it's like and what you can do, I'm delighted to share this information with you. So let's go for it. There's a lot of information. We're going to do a guided meditation in part of it. And so here we go. These are some of the things that Orest already spoke about. The big thing that I'm really excited about is the app, which is looks a little bit like this purple box with a curly arrow in it. And you will see that there are probably 9 free guided meditations. And then if you want to subscribe and buy the full version, then there's over 40. So it's a really wonderful opportunity for you. Okay, so the first thing I want you to understand is that sacred geometry gives you strength and integrity. What that means is no matter what the shape, whether we can't see that here, like this, or whether you see a shape that looks like this. Here we go. It gives strength. These shapes can't break, okay? And it's the same true with the tetrahedron. So it's important because we're going to be asking you to gravitate towards these shapes in everything you do. You see something that you like in a store and it's a tetrahedron or an octahedron or a icosahedron, whatever the shape is, take care of yourself and bring it in. It'll help you anchor in your ideal energy. Now we're going to talk about the pineal gland. Many of you have heard about it, but did you know that when you keep your pineal gland operating, you won't grow old? This quote comes from a reading given for Edgar Casey on himself, in which the information on his process was explored. And since many previous readings have mentioned the importance of the pineal, he was curious for himself. And this was a reasonable discuss. So he said, please discuss in detail the function of the pineal. And if you're not familiar with Edgar Casey, he was a great American clairvoyant psychic, and he began giving people information on their health in a trance, and it was very unexpected and spontaneous. A long story, but essentially he lost his voice, and it wasn't until he was willing to do this work that his voice came back. In the very last sentence of a very long paragraph, the explanation is this. From an anatomical viewpoint, in the fetus, as it has begun, we find this is the term as the builder. So your pineal is the builder of who you are, which is what we want to keep it young. So now, what affects your pineal? This is important. Fluoride. So, stop using that fluoride toothpaste. And if your water is fluoridated, as it is most places in North America, you will want to take steps to filter your water or buy bottled water or something like that. And we're going to talk about that in 1 second. There are new movements in America for water to not be fluoridated. And Florida, tongue twister here, is one of those places. So if you live in Florida, there's a big movement, and a number of communities have already stopped fluoridating their water. The next big thing that affects your pineal is EMF, electromagnetic radiation. And that's coming off your cell phone. It's coming off of your wireless earbuds. Get rid of those and use wired. The amount of EMF is like 1,000 times more when you're using wireless earbuds. Okay. And I was so enchanted with wireless earbuds when they first came out, probably 20 years ago. I bought a set and they disappeared in my apartment. And I only had a tiny little, studio apartment in New York City, and they were gone and we couldn't find them anywhere. So then I bought another pair. Same darn thing happened. So I got the message. Don't wear wireless. And recently I had a set of swimming earbuds thinking that I could do laps with music or whatever, listening, and in my pool, and they broke. So I sent them back. I got a new pair. And what happened to those? God only knows. We lost them. So I'm telling you that my guides are looking after me by making me lose them. And I'm asking you to sell or get rid of the ones you have, because they're dangerous to your physical health and they're dangerous to your pineal. You're also sensitive to variations in light. And this is why I keep an eye mask at my desk. Whoops. At my desk and at my bedside, when you take a nap, when you're meditating, whenever you want to really focus and get connected to source, you want to use an eye mask. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. They're very inexpensive. You can buy them, but it helps with the circadian rhythm of the body. And this is what allows your pineal to rejuvenate. Another thing you can do is you can put your home router on a timer. And if you live in an apartment building, what you do is you build an energetic Faraday cage around your bed, around your body, around your apartment, so that there is a limited amount of energy that gets in. Also, one of the meditations on the app called the Golden Bowl, one of the free ones, was an award-winning meditation. It also will give you a chance to clear a lot of that stuff up. The pineal gland is small by body weight, but the blood flow activity is only second to the kidney. Many ancient cultures knew that a clear third eye was related to a functioning pineal. Keeping these two power centers clear meant higher meditations, greater connection to source, and more mental clarity and higher states of meditation. And it's never too late to start. Now, when you go to the dentist, what are you going to do? You can't tell the dentist not to use fluoride because they're mandated by the rules that they follow. So you compensate. And we're going to tell you a way you can compensate. So now we're going to talk about the foods that will support your pineal: shilajit, cacao, and tamarind. Now, shilajit is readily available. It comes from Tibet, and it is a tar-like substance that they scrape off the mountain. And you take a tiny little bit of it, like a eighth of a teaspoon if you buy it in a jar, or you can buy little pellets. You take it with a little bit of vinegar to get the maximum benefit. And it helps to decalcify the pineal, so the pineal is more readily available to you. Cacao, we're not talking chocolate, we're talking the cacao nibs. And there's lots of places you can get those. And you can actually learn to chew them like you might chew gum or something, and you get used to the taste. Very satisfying, and it's also very good at appetite suppressant. And then tamarind is also readily available. It used to only be available in China and that part of the world, and now you can get it just about anywhere. You can add it to your drinks. One of the favorite ones in Egypt is tamarind, red hibiscus, and a sweetener. And it is delicious, and it's also super nutritious for your pineal. Okay, so the pineal is quite tiny, and we're going to reactivate your pineal. We're going to give you a set of statements that you're going to repeat after me so that you can tell your pineal what it's supposed to do. Okay, so you can see the pineal is very, very tiny here. So get your phones out, because if you want to copy this, you can do that and do it daily for a while, because when you repeat, you practice every day, at some point it becomes your new normal, and then you don't have to do it every day. So get your phone out, get ready, or your screen share or screen copy. So what we want you to understand is you're going to reactivate and expand your pineal. Now, the first thing I want you to understand is there is a torus around your body. We're not talking about the star torus. We're talking about an energetic field that moves from the center out, and it can move from the center up, or it can move from the center down. And we can create more of these around the body. So you're in the middle of like an apple core. You're at the center of that core. And we're going to expand your pineal gland to its highest level of functionality and maintain it. If you will do this for 45 days, it will become permanent. Okay, so what's 45 days from today? Look on your calendar, figure it out, and make sure that you know to do this every single day. And if you skip a day, don't worry about it. But if you skip a bunch of days, then extend the amount of days you skip at the end. So if you end up skipping for a week because you're on vacation and forgot, then just add a week to your 45 days at the end. Okay, here we go. I now command. And so you're going to say this phrase, I now command, in front of each one of these little phrases. Okay, I want you to say this with me. I now command my higher self, reactivate my DNA, connect my 5D heart, body, and brain. I now command my pineal gland to distribute my pineal gland energies throughout my body, radiating outward in a torus formation. I now command my pineal gland to transform into its highest level of functionality perpetually and maintain it. All right, I hope you got a picture of that. So now we're going to shift a little bit and talk about electric versus magnetic. When polarity was originally created on this planet, it was not anticipated to create the big chasm that we now have between good and bad, right and wrong. So understand that electric and magnetic are still here, and we're going to see a change. We're seeing that polarity is expanding. That means there's more extreme of darkness that you're able to see, but there's also more extreme of God energy and lightness that you will be able to see. So what does this mean for you? It means that you are now in a new place of discovery where you can be the observer of both. And that means that there's a quality of energy that is related to either electric or magnetic. The mental body is electric, the emotional body is magnetic. And think about how that plays out. In fact, the middle ground is more important. So how do you do that? How do you separate or observe, but not take sides? And the best way I know how to say it is to think about a really good hockey team or basketball team that you have observed, but maybe they're not your home team. Maybe they're not the team you play with or observe, but they're good. So there's a finalist. Your home team isn't necessarily on this particular game, but they're somewhere in the lineup. So you're watching to see what happens. And now it's pure entertainment. You can look at the moves of one team and say, wow, that was a great move. And then you look at the team moves on the other side. Oh, that was really awesome. I really like that. I hope they do a replay so I can watch it again. And so you get to enjoy the competition without judging or saying this is good or this is not good. So as we look at the electromagnetic waves, I want you to understand that the thing about electricity shows us that it is the push and pull between magnetic and electric that causes change, causes transformation, causes opportunity. So the red field here is moving on a lateral basis, a lateral plane, and it is magnetic. And then the electric is the blue, which is moving north and south on the same trajectory. And those two together push each other along. You know, it's like a good, fun story at the water cooler. Wait till you hear what happened to me at work on my way to work. And you tell your story, and then someone else tops it. Oh, well, you should hear what happened to me on my way to work, and so on. And it's a little bit like that. There are opportunities for growth and direction. And the amplitude is the extreme or the height of the trajectory that is moving forward. So sometimes you're in a higher emotional state. Sometimes you're in a higher mental state. When both are present, they create an opposing force that propels forward movement. And this is a piece of information that's directly from science, but it's helpful for you to begin to understand that it applies to you and me. So when you notice polarity, no resistance is primary. This is your new 5D way. You allow yourself to move back and forth. You don't need to stay in one place or another. You notice both sides. You acknowledge, but you move to the middle. You find the balance, or you observe the merits and the disadvantages across the board, and then you unhook. Just like electric and magnetic, when both are present, they create an opposing force that propels forward movement. By allowing, you create propulsion into the next dimension, which is where we're all going. Everyone's going to become fifth dimensional, whether they're ready or not. So you may as well learn the ropes of the new way and become that now rather than waiting until it's thrust upon you. 5D has no polarity as a separate energy, and the new expression holds both in balance without judgment. So which color is better, hot pink or green? Well, it depends upon what else you're wearing, your own facial colors, your own color preferences. There is no good color and bad color. They're all colors. And this is the way you want to look at everything in your life. So one of the ways we do this is we pay attention to our language. And in 3D, we say the right way or the wrong way, I have to, and the truth. These three phrases are the most common. And the way to get around that is to step into a new way of being, which is, this is a match for me. The rest doesn't matter. Instead of I have to, what else could you say? I get to, I choose to, I want to, I need to. All of those are different than I have to. When you say I have to, you have turned over your authority to an outside energy, and God knows what's happening at that point. And there is no the truth. The truth is subjective. It is always subjective because that's how humans think. So get your camera out. I'm going to give you a real easy way to take a picture. This picture is fun, but it doesn't make it easy to read. So I'm going to take you to the next slide, which makes it easy to read. Now take a picture of this because this is another way you can grow and shift your energy into 5D effortlessly. I'm asking for a day of heaven on earth for me and everyone I'm in contact with and everyone I'm in contract with. Well, everyone I'm in contract with could be my webmaster. It could be you today as my audience. And so you're going to have a much happier, yummy day than you might have otherwise. And what we discovered is that you could ask for a week or a vacation or a specific time frame, and you could start asking for that days ahead. And there's a very cute story about a woman who chose to do this, and they were going to get together for a family reunion all in one house, but she had one sister who was a drama queen. And even though they wanted her there because she was family, they always figured that she would spoil the party. So, but she's calling in a day of a week, a vacation of heaven on earth. And the day before the family get together, the drama queen calls and says, I'm not coming. Okay, so big disappointment, but I'm checking myself into a detox facility. Oh, that's fantastic. All because she asked for a day or a vacation of heaven on earth. Now, I'm going to give you some words to use instead of your swear words. We all kind of have these go-to swear words that we use, and it's time to choose proactively to stop. So these are new ways to say it. Now, I got this one from Neil Donald Walsh, and he's the guy who wrote Conversations with God. And he tells a story about how his mother always said this. And he asked her one day, why do you say this? And she said, well, you know, your father says the other way, and I don't want God thinking that that's how we feel. So I always want to end it with this. And it's quite cute. God bless it. So instead of the other one, God bless it. There are others, and we may get to those. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So our new normal is changing daily. And I love this picture because it basically says all bets are off. Everything that we have been told, everything that we can think of, it's all been fabricated, and we've been led to believe a certain part of the reality. So what I want you to understand is normal is going to change daily. And the more willing you are to allow big information to change how you think, the easier it will be. If you resist, you will move into cognitive dissonance, which is a challenge because there's part of you that thinks the world is this way, and there's part of you that thinks the world is this way. And when you allow, it doesn't mean you have to accept everything. Maybe you put it on the back burner, but you don't disallow it. You don't dismiss it. So normal is a fantasy. It doesn't exist for anyone and can be a limiting belief. So if you catch yourself saying, oh, that was weird, change it. Find a new way of saying it. Create value in noticing. Did you see the sky? It looked like there was a bunch of ships in the sky. All the clouds looked, there were ET ships in the sky. Or did you see the sky yesterday? It looked like there were dragons in the sky. What I do know and can share with you is that the air sylphs, these are the elementals of the air, will replicate what is in the reality. So they will share with you by making the clouds take on shapes so you will know what's really going on behind the scenes. When you compartmentalize, you create a limiting belief. And again, ask your guides to show you when you're creating a limiting belief so you stop doing that. Create value in noticing. It means you validate to yourself by sharing experiences with like-minded individuals or journaling or reading about other people's experiences that are similar. When you are in your journal, you stay in wonder of not normal events, coincidences, mysteries. Don't tell your friends of your unusual experiences. Instead, journal them. Highlight the ones that you think are not normal. When you validate it, it becomes super important because you're teaching your mind to notice when something is outside of your normal way of experiencing life. It gives you a heads up. What this does is alerts you when there's another change in the reality, and you get to see more and more and more. Okay, so what if you allowed yourself to be open-minded? Do your belief keep you safe or stuck? Yes, your beliefs keep you safe, but is that what you want? Is that what you need? I don't think so. I think we need to shift and grow and let go. So, number one phrase to ask is, I wonder what's going on. When you experience something that you used to call weird, offer the phrase, I wonder what's going on. So here's a quick quiz. You just arrived in Egypt, but your suitcase did not. Will you cry, complain, and whine? Or decide to smile and say to yourself, I wonder what's going on. It will turn up eventually. I am in Egypt. So how do you change the way of your thinking? And part of it is this business of noticing. And we're going to talk about that some more. And I'm going to give you a tool. For example, start with noticing others. Notice your environment. Notice your reactions. So when you take a walk, notice the flowers. Say out loud, oh, those flowers are beautiful. Even if you're by yourself, doesn't matter. Did you notice all the beautiful crystals here? Did someone tell you something that you reacted to? What was your reaction? Can you notice your feelings? Not just feel your feelings, but rise above it and notice it. When you move into this open-hearted way, you choose to see only the love, the light, and your desire to be validated. And we assure you that when you allow yourself to be validated by source, by your divine connection, you won't need to get validated by anyone else. So here's another tool. Tell your sad story only 3 times. If you limit how many times you tell your sorry tale, you will shift faster. And what that means is you count. If you have a sad story and you're upset about it, go ahead and share, but only do it 3 times. Now, I know someone in this audience is already thinking about that. I don't know if you heard my voice go funny for a second, but it did. I'm tuning into you and I got you. And so count. And I will tell you that even if someone calls you and you don't want to tell your sorry story to that person because you won't get any sympathy, then wait. Wait for your sister or your best friend who will give you the sympathy you're looking for. There are 3 P's to professionalism. Patience produces pleasure. So allow yourself to be patient and allow yourself to learn and grow. If the pain is too great, then ask God to show you how much you are loved. And the way you do that is you simply say, Dear God, show me how much I am loved. Dear God, show me how much I am loved. And let the love show up to pull you out of your sadness. Okay, so who gets free rein in your head? Who do you complain about in your thought? What do you get from this experience? Suffering is optional. It is the drama with your thought and your pain that causes suffering. Remember to ask yourself the question, did I get anything from this? Did I get any benefit from this painful experience? Perhaps there was a benefit at some point in the relationship or in the experience. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you had a good time. Maybe you traveled to wonderful places and have happy memories too. Even though the connection is now non-existent with this painful situation, you can put your attention on all the good memories. When you carry old memories, choose to go right into your powerful, joyful memories. Train yourself to follow your sour thoughts with sweetness and the benefit of the experience, the learning, the opportunity, the happy times, and let that be the last taste in your mouth, just like the phrase, God bless it. So What's interesting is 5D'ers get to play in 3D. And I haven't actually taught you how to make sure you're in 5D, but I will. So I want you to understand that there's this whole energy difference in 5D compared to 3D. There is no polarity in 5D. It means that the choice to be hurtful or harmful does not exist. And it is a trajectory, just like the electrical field that I showed you, the electrical magnetic field. We are on a sine wave and we are vacillating up to 5D and back. It also means that right now you and I can interact with people in 3D, but not react as if we are 3D. So I want you to think of the dimensions as being like the Mershowski dolls, where you can at 5D see down into 3D, but in 3D, you don't know that there's a 5D. Once you know 5D, you won't want to play in 3D, even though you might slide in there. Now, we're going to do another exercise. So put your phone down and we're going to do a quick guided meditation. I'm going to teach you the rules on how to have 100% accurate higher self connection. It will take you a certain period of time, and we're going to talk about that. It'll take you 45 days or more. And so take a moment and figure out what that is from today. And you will do this practice for 45 days. It's called your practice period. Figure out your practice period and future end date. So write down today's date and add plus 45. So even if you don't get a chance to figure it out, you can go back and find it. Now, one of the rules of this protocol, and there are only 3, is you avoid all other divination tools. You don't do kinesiology, muscle testing, finger testing, cards, or pendulums. All of that you set aside. Why? It's the same reason why you don't study French and German at the same time, because it's too confusing. And you would use your pendulum or your other tests to see if your higher self is right. So we're not going to do that. That's one of your rules you're going to follow for 45 days. So here we go. We're going to do a higher self meditation. So feet flat on the floor, hands either nested or on your lap, but in a comfortable position. Straighten your back. Let your shoulders drop. Close your eyes. We're asking the higher self to come in. We're asking your higher self to connect with you in your heart. We're asking the higher self to expand in your heart. Now we're going to ask a question directly to the higher self. Higher self, give me my signal for yes. What does yes look like, feel like, sound like, taste like? Some people get a sensation in their gut. Some people get a feeling of wind on one side of the body or another. Some people see a color or a shape. Higher self, show me again my symbol or signal for yes. Some people actually hear the word yes. Thank you. Higher self, give me my symbol or signal for no. Again, higher self, give me my symbol or signal for no. It can be a color, a shape, a taste, a sensation. Thank you. Higher self, give me my symbol or signal for neutral. Higher self, show me neutral. Many people experience neutral as an awareness of the central column. It almost feels like it's empty. So you tune to the center of your body and it feels empty. And the sensation of neutral is not as strong as some of the other signals, and that's okay. All right, open your eyes, write down your symbols. It's very important. Either put it on your phone or write them on a piece of paper. This is so that when you start your higher self practice, you know what your symbol should look like. Now, there's a lot of information on how to do this on the app Illuminate. So if you have an Android or an iPhone, you will be able to look this up and study it. If you have the ability, you might want to take a picture of the next 3 slides. Only yes, no questions. No open-ended questions. Ask unimportant, insignificant questions you do not care about. Keep asking new questions 30 to 50 times a day. You don't ask predictive questions. You do not care about the outcome. And you do not ask important questions. So the way you ask is always the same. Higher self, is it in my highest and best good to take this action? Higher self, is it in my highest and best good to have a cup of coffee this morning or to have a cup of coffee now? Higher self, is it my highest and best good to have a mint tea? No. Higher self, is my highest best good to have a citrus tea? No. Higher self, is my highest best good to have a mineral blend tea? Yes. So there are many ways that you can use this throughout the day to come up with 30 to 50 times. And trust me, when you do this, your higher self will be able to give you information and you will begin to see an outcome. So the second step is you always take action. That means you must follow through. You must follow through, no exceptions. If you really want to have a chocolate chip cookie, that was my big treat at one point in my life. If you really want to have that, then do it and enjoy, but don't ask your higher self because you really want it. If you're a smoker, this is not the place or the time to ask if you should quit smoking. This is a practice period, okay? Practice, practice, practice. And finally, the last rule is you avoid your divination tools. And I do not know why that typing is so small, but it says kinesiology, muscle testing, finger testing, cards, and pendulums. Divination has its place and it can be useful, but not during your practice period. If you're a therapist and you use these methods with your hands, or with your patients rather, limit their use to that practice. As far as your action steps, you are only asking your higher self during this practice period. So it looks like we are out of time.
Maureen, thank you so much for that. I see a lot of parallels in what you're teaching and some of the things that I'm doing in my Evolutionary Edge program. So really interesting. I love the detail. I love the depth and the detail and the practices that you're bringing forward for people to be able to use. And it's very easy to access. And so yeah, I think I'm definitely going to check out the Illuminate app. And I think I mentioned in my emails, I've read a couple of the 5D books and really love them. And so that's why I was really honored to reach out to you and ask you to come and join us. And I'm thankful that you were able to do that. And so you do have a gift that you're offering, and
The
we'll
gift
get.
is called, yeah, a divine transfusion. And it's for those times when you're really stressed out and you need help and you can use this meditation. It allows you not only to get a transfusion for yourself, but for your family members and for the world. So, maybe you're worried about what's going on in your government. Maybe you're worried about what's going on in your family. And this brings a boost of energy. And my visual, which I did not put in the meditation, is those big airplanes that can refuel in the air.
Mm,
And that's what we're doing.
hmm. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I wish you really, I know that good things are on your journey and they're unfolding all the time. You've got your mystery school going and the different work that you're up to. So just continued blessings. And I'm going to use that in place of swear words. God bless this.
Good.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Indeed.